Hello beautiful, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over how you can start attracting healthy masculine men so that you can actually attract your dream partner. I know for me, prior to taking a 1.5 year dating break and really taking the time to heal and work on myself, I tended to attract a lot of men in their wounded masculine and wounded feminine energy. And every time that I would try to date, I didn't have the best dating experience because I kept attracting these men that had all these wounding, and it led me to believe like, wow, this is really, the best that is out there. Like, that's kind of like the belief that I started to create, that there was no good men. And I know a lot of women feel that way. It's like, you're trying to date and you're not meeting the best guys, and you're like, oh my god, like, where are the good men? And I am here to tell you that there is so many good men in the world. I know because I meet them now every day. But it wasn't until I took the time to heal and until I really was able to let go of the belief that, all men are bad and all the woundings that I had around how I looked at men, that I started to actually meet men in my life that proved my new belief that there was good men in the world. So I'm going to share you the top things that I did to really start healing and start the process of attracting healthy masculine men so that your dating life can improve. And it really is just such a game changer when you start attracting healthy masculine men in your life. So that's going to lead us to our first point. So the first one is to start healing your wounded masculine energy. So I know a lot of women, maybe you had woundings from your child where maybe your father figure maybe wasn't present or fully reliable when you were as a child. So what can happen is that because we don't have that very strong, father figure, is we build this masculine shield, right? Of like, okay, you know what? There's no like father figure, not that masculine protection. So instead, I'm gonna create this, masculine shield, and that's what can create a lot of like a big wall around your heart, which, at first it's created because it wants to help you, but when you grow older, that's what's stopping you from actually being able to attract healthy masculine men in your life. So if you want to attract healthy masculine men in your life, you have to learn to start letting go of that masculine shield that you have and learning to slowly start putting it down and start trusting again, start opening your heart. But one thing that's really, really important for this is learning to trust yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, if you know that you're not someone that keeps her promises to herself, if you're not someone that can actually set and keep boundaries, so then you have this, masculine shield that is protecting you because you don't trust yourself, that you are going to be careful with who you give your heart to. So it wasn't until I built trust with myself that I knew that I was going to be careful with who I gave my heart to. Therefore, I didn't need to be disconnected or have this huge wall around my heart, because I knew that I could be open, I could be vulnerable, I could love fully, and I knew that I was going to choose carefully, that I couldn't be people pleased into being or staying in a relationship like I had in the past, because I really didn't have, a lot of boundaries, and, I struggled with people pleasing. So if this is something that you struggle with, in order to heal your wounded masculine, the first thing that you want to do is you want to start working on trusting in yourself. And this is done by making and keeping small promises to yourself every single day. So I recommend that you start setting small goals for yourself that are attainable for you, and that that you're actually going to keep, because that's what's going to start building that trust of, okay, I do trust myself, I can do this. And when you start trusting yourself with the little things, then you start trusting yourself with the bigger things. And then that if you start dating and you meet someone and maybe they're showing some red flags, you trust yourself that you're gonna walk away. So when you have that trust, that I know that I can trust myself with men in relationships, you don't feel the need to have, like I said, that shield that is really just blocking you from having true, you know, connection with the masculine, because a healthy masculine man can feel that, you know, magnetic shield of like, do not talk to me, you know. And a lot of women can even, you can maybe create this where, you know, you kind of have this, you know, B face on where it's like, don't talk to me, but that really just comes like that, you know, that shield, it really just comes from fear, because we don't want to get hurt. So that it's like, if I don't let anyone in, then no one is going to hurt me. So again, start setting small goals for yourself, and make sure that you keep those promises to yourself. It's very important. It can be really small things like saying, okay, I am going to make my bed every single morning, making sure that you make your bed. I am going to, you know, drink half a gallon of water every day, making sure that you do drink that gallon of water. So whatever you set, make sure that you keep that promise to yourself. This is something that I did with a lot of my health and fitness clients, is that whenever they would start the program, I wouldn't give them from the get-go super overwhelming goals, because one of my really goals for them is I wanted them to start trusting themselves, to see that they can do this. So I would see, okay, where are they? I would give them goals that were actually attainable from where they were, and then once they actually started to hit those goals, and then I would actually give them a little bit of a more challenging goal once they had already gotten that down. So you want to do the same thing with yourself. If you know that maybe you can't go to the gym 5 times a week, but you know that you can commit to 3 times a week. Okay, we'll start with 3, and then once you get those 3 down every single week for a few weeks, if you want to say, okay, I really want to commit myself to doing 4 times a week, then you can tell yourself that. But just really start setting those goals and keeping those promises to yourself is going to be huge. Another really big one to healing your wounded masculine is just really starting to let go of your belief that all men are bad. I know that it can be hard to let go of that belief, because that's what you're currently seeing. So you're like, Amber, like all the guys that I'm seeing, you know, they're not the best guys, and I understand. But if you truly want to start attracting healthy masculine men, you cannot hate men and want love from them. It's just not going to happen. If you feel hatred and you have negative emotions towards masculine men, then you're going to just attract men that just proves your belief to you. So it's super, super important that you really start healing the way that you look at men. Something that can be really helpful to start healing that is you can start listening to men and their healthy masculine energy, that are going to help you to start seeing, like, you know what, there are good men in the world. So a few that I really like are, you know, Jay Shetty is really good, Lewis Howes, I think that's how you say his name, Bob Proctor is really good. So just starting to listen to men and their healthy masculine. I love, actually, instead of just listening to the podcast, I love seeing the podcast in YouTube, because you can see their mannerism, you can see how they express themselves, and it's really nice. So starting to get yourself, you know, being familiar with how healthy masculine men show up in their life, you're gonna start seeing, like, okay, yes, there are healthy masculine men in, you know, in the existence. And once you start actually changing that belief and looking for the good in men, so now, like, you know, one thing that I really learned from men is that a lot of the things that they do, they actually do for us. Like, a lot of men, they want to become successful because then they want to be able to provide for their wife and their children, and, you know, find their dream woman. You know, they want to be able to help us. Like, literally anytime that, you know, I maybe need help, and a man like sees me, you know, he will, you know, offer to like help me, you know, whether it's like with my groceries. Like, it can be like really small things, but they're constantly offering to help because they want to help us. And all that men want when they help us is they just want to be appreciated. So if you can start looking for that, like when men start offering you, you know, to help you, rather than rejecting their help, start accepting their help, start being really appreciative, and start seeing like how happy it makes them to just help you. So again, just starting to really have that mindset shift even in your everyday life, and trying to find the good in men is really going to help you to start healing that wounded masculine. So number 2 is start stepping into your feminine energy. So first one is we have to bring that wounded, you know, masculine shield, we have to bring it down, and then start stepping into our feminine energy, because you're always going to attract your polar opposite in relationships. So if you are in your wounded masculine, you're going to attract a man in his wounded feminine energy. If you're in your healthy feminine energy, you're going to attract a healthy masculine man. So in order to start attracting that healthy masculine man that you desire, you have to start stepping into your feminine energy. A few things that you can start doing to start stepping into your feminine energy that I did when I started my feminine energy journey is, one, the easiest one that you can do is start taking care of your appearance more. I know I talk about this all the time, but truly starting to take care of your appearance more is one of the easiest way that you can subconsciously start telling your mind that you are worth getting ready, that you do love yourself, that you are worth that time that you're putting into you. So just overall taking care of yourself more, whether it's getting ready in the morning, whether it's taking care of yourself by eating nutritious foods, by exercising, by going on a walk, anything that has to do with taking care of yourself, doing a hot bath. Like, I know for me, when I used to be really heavily in my masculine energy, I used to think hot baths were like the biggest waste of time, and now I take hot baths all the time whenever I feel like it, because I don't think it's a waste of time. Now I see and I acknowledge that the more that I pour into myself and the more that I love myself, the better that I'm able to show up in all areas of my life, the better man that I'm able to attract in my life as well. So I do not see getting myself as a burden. Now I see it like as a pleasure. Honestly, getting ready for me is one of like my favorite things in the day. If you struggle to get ready because you do see it as a waste of time, I recommend that you start just making it more fun. So the way that I make it more fun is you can start by, for example, putting on some music that you really enjoy. I really love to do that, like put like some fun music, and then at night when I'm doing like my night routine, I put some like slowed down music. So I kind of try to make it into this like really nice ritual where, you know, you're getting into the present, you know, you're loving yourself. Another thing that you could also do when you're getting ready in the morning is do affirmations. So you can do affirmations to start talking to yourself positively. Another one is slowing down, so giving yourself more space in between your tasks, so not jamming your schedule. I know that can be hard if maybe you have a job, but maybe in the weekend give yourself a little bit more space to just flow more. Part of being in your wounded masculine is feeling that need to keep yourself busy 24/7, but really that busyness is just a coping mechanism that you're able to stay disconnected from your emotions and your heart and what is actually going on in your life. So learning to start feeling comfortable with not being busy all the time and giving yourself time to just do things just for your enjoyment, reading a book. Another big one to step into your feminine energy is dancing. And another one that I really loved and I feel like made such a huge difference for me in my feminine energy journey is journaling. So journaling every single day. I talk about this in the feminine energy guide. If you haven't gotten it, you can get it in the link below. But journaling is such an important tool because when you're in your wounded masculine, you're so disconnected from yourself and your emotions, because again, you're afraid to truly be vulnerable and open up your heart. So journaling, you start tapping into your emotions every single day. So in the Feminine Guide, I put some prompts of how you can do it, but really just starting to grab a journal, have it in your nightstand. I have a few there, and just writing down how your day was, how you felt, and starting to validate your own emotions. And there is something so powerful about putting, you know, your thoughts into paper that is so healing. So journaling is a really, really big one that I recommend to start really stepping into your feminine energy. The third one to start attracting healthy masculine men and attract your dream partner is to write your love list. So I would say writing my love list was the biggest thing that gave me so much clarity of what I wanted in a partner and who I needed to become so that I could actually attract my dream partner. Because you have to remember, you're not going to attract who you want, you're going to attract who you are, because like attracts like. So like I was saying earlier, if you want a man that is in his healthy masculine energy, you have to be a woman that is in her feminine energy. If you want a man that is generous, you have to know how to receive. If you want a man that is kind, you have to be kind as well. So whatever you want in a man, you have to be the reciprocal. So what I want you to do is grab your journal and write down in detail what you desire in a partner. Okay, and I don't want you to put like 6'2". Okay, so those things you can have it like at the bottom, you can have like a little wants list, but those are not like non-negotiables. You have to actually put like qualities and values, like what are things that are truly important for you to feel safe, loved, and cherished in a relationship. And then over time, you can add more things to your list. I actually love having this on my phone instead of the journal. You can do it, I've done it both, but it's really nice to have it on your phone because over time you can go back in there and then you can add things, you can remove things. So it's really nice to just have it easily accessible where you can edit it as time goes on, especially when you do go back into dating. And something that I always do is that when I have a date, I will always go back and look at my list and see, okay, is this person actually compatible with what I'm looking for? And you know, when you have your love list, you save so much more time because you know, you don't need 10 dates to realize that that man is not what you're looking for. Sometimes you just need one to see that it's not a good fit, which is a good thing because you're not wasting your time or his time if you know that that's not what you're looking for in your partner. So after you've gotten clear on what you want in your dream partner, on the other side, I want you to write down who do you need to become to actually be the reciprocal. And I like to think about it like this. You know, your dream partner, he has his list of his dream girl. So if we could pull up his list, you know, would you be the dream girl? And I know when I did this exercise, I was like, oh my God, this is why I'm not attracting the guys that I want to attract, because my dream man is not my reciprocal at all. My reciprocal was actually the man that I was attracting, you know, as sad as it was, but that is just the complete truth. So you have to be super honest with yourself and say, okay, this is my reciprocal right now. And that's why I say don't focus on the men that you're attracting right now. It's just about self-awareness. But then you can say, okay, I know what I want in a partner. I know that what are the areas that I need to work on and I need to heal so that I can actually become the reciprocal, and then start, like, you'll literally just start magnetizing healthy masculine men in your life when you are a healthy, you know, woman in her feminine energy, because that's just your reciprocal. You don't have to try, you know, just like right now, you know, unfortunately, you know, maybe you're attracting unhealthy men because you're in your wounded feminine. So once you heal, your dating life will get so much easier, I promise. And the fifth one is having full faith in God and trusting that He is coming, and learning to be patient in your waiting season, okay? So, you know, obviously we can't control of when things are going to come into our life, but what we can do is we can start, you know, being and showing up in alignment for what we want in our life. Like, that's literally the only thing that we can control in our life, is just being in alignment. And honestly, I can tell you, in all areas of my life, when I start showing up in alignment as the desire that I have, those things come to me because I'm in alignment. So I literally start drawing my desire to me. But it is really important that you have that full faith of, yes, my partner, my dream partner is going to come, and also not deviating anything below that. So it is super important that, you know, when you are dating, especially after your healing season, I am telling you, my girl, you are going to attract way better men than ever before. I know, because when I started dating again after my 1.5 year dating break, the men that I date now are like so much better than the ones that I used to meet a few years ago when I was in my wounded feminine. But because I am very clear on what I want in my dream partner, for example, when I first started dating a few months ago, you know, I was dating a guy, and let's just say that he had, you know, 70% of the things that I was looking for. And to me, that was a, you know, much higher percentage. My list is very long, but, you know, 70% was pretty good to, in the past, I would attract guys that had 10-20% of the things that I really wanted in my dream partner. So obviously when I started dating, I was like, oh my god, like, this guy's amazing. But, you know, that's when your love list comes in hand. You bring yourself to a reality check and you're like, okay, even though he is a great guy, but there are all these things that I want in a partner that are very important to me, and I'm not going to deviate away from that. Because when you accept something that is not fully what you want, then you're not allowing for the actual blessing and for your desire to come, because you're you know, telling God, like, this is good enough. So you're closing the doors for the thing that you want. So, you know, when, for example, I was dating the guy, let's just say he had 70%, and I was very honest with my desires of what I wanted in a partner, and I stopped talking to him, and every man that I have dated after that has just been higher. Like, you know, most men that I date now, like, right from the start, they have like 80-90%. Like, it's like way better than before. And then the other 10%, it really does take time and consistency, because some take time to see, okay, does he actually have them? Some of the things in your list you won't be able to tell until you're actually dating them over time. But usually in the beginning, you're able to see like a big part of it if they do like meet your love list. And then I recommend that you only date the men that actually have the potential to meet your love list, especially if they're the things that are really important to you. And this is why, like, you know, let's just say the guy that I met that, you know, had 70%, maybe to another girl, that would be her 100, right? We all have different desires in a partner of what is important to us. You know, like, for example, I'm going to give you one example for me. For me, it is very extremely important that my partner loves what they do, and that they're very passionate about it, and that they're consistently working towards, you know, the goal, their purpose in this lifetime. So for me, I have found that I really can't date guys that, you know, maybe like on the weekend all they do is just like have fun. Because for me, my dad, he was very hardworking. He had very big like passions, and I really admired and respected that in my dad. So I really want that in a partner. I also have really big passions and dreams, and I also work towards them on the weekend. So I want someone that it's not just about, oh, you know, they go to work and then on the weekend, you know, they just kind of, you know, they kind of see their work as like a drag. Like, even if they were to have like a good business or job, if it's not something that they truly love and that they are consistently wanting to improve, it's just not someone that I could be with, because it's not a man that I could truly admire and respect, because that is something that's very important to me, that they truly love what they do and that they're passionate about it. But maybe for you, that is not a big deal. Maybe for you, you want a partner that has a great job, but then on the weekend you guys can just have fun. So every single woman is going to want something that is different. So that's why not every person that you date, just because they're a good guy, doesn't mean that they're for you. So your man is going to come to you, but you have to be willing to close the doors on men that just don't align with what you want, even if they are good men. And that's when it comes with really having that full faith. Like God says, ask and it's already been given to you. Like, you have the desire that you have in your partner is because it already exists. It's already there. So all you have to do is start showing up in alignment, and then in the right timing, it will come to you. And one thing that really helps me to really have a really strong belief that my dream partner is going to come is I use visualization. So now I don't do it as much because my belief that he's gonna come is just so strong. Like, it's not really something that I have to convince myself of. Like, I'm like, obviously he's coming. Like, now I'm just, you know, waiting for it to come. But back in the day, you know, when the year and a half when I was really working with myself, I would really visualize, like, what did it feel like to be with my partner? And I kind of had like this one specific scenario of us, and I would see like, okay, like, how did I feel with him? That's another big one, is that if you can start using visualization and start tapping into the emotion of what does it feel to be with your dream partner, when you go on dates, you can say, okay, well, you know, on paper this guy is great, but maybe that feeling is just not there. So you'll know that, you know, it's not really what you're looking for. You're looking, you know, that feeling that you know you want in a partner, it's the connection just isn't there. So that has really helped me a lot. And now, you know, when you're calling in a desire, the first part is actually believing that it's gonna come. And then once you actually believe that it's come, you're just living in alignment. You know that you are the reciprocal of your dream man, and now you're just waiting for your desire to come. There's nothing that you have to stress about. So that is where I am now. Like, I am in so much peace, and I'm truly in a place where I was thinking about this the other day, but I was like, you know, obviously, you know, I want to attract my dream partner, but I truly feel so happy with myself. And I truly, like, I hear so many women that say, like, you know, when I truly felt happy being single, that's when he came. And I truly feel that one of the most important parts that you need to do in your single season is truly fall in love with you, fall in love with just yourself, with being alone, you know, having a closer relationship with God, like just falling in love with who you are, so that when you do enter that relationship, you are bringing in your 100%, the other person is bringing in their 100%, and I truly feel that that is what makes a thriving relationship long term, because both people are bringing their best, and then they're able to support one another in life and be partners. So anyways, I really hope that this video was really helpful for you. If you start doing all the things that I mentioned, I promise that you will see such huge changes in your life. Start healing, start attracting better men. Again, if you haven't grabbed the Feminine Energy Guide, grab it below. It'll help you so much. Just overall start healing your wounded feminine and masculine energy, and in there I put all the things that you can start doing to heal. If this video was helpful, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and share with a friend that also needs to hear this, so that she can start attracting healthy masculine men in her life as well. I will see you in the next video. Bye, love.